If you've struggled to manage your period with PCOS and you're confused and you're not sure what's normal anymore when it comes to your menstrual cycle, today I'm going to share with you the 5 criteria that make up a healthy period. We're going to walk through them one by one, and I'm going to explain exactly what you should be looking out for in order to ensure that your menstrual cycle is optimized. Period problems are very common with PCOS, but that does not mean that they're normal and that you should accept them. Even if your doctor told you to come back when you're trying to get pregnant or not worry about this until you're ready to conceive, that is not true. We want to make sure that the period is healthy as best as we can with PCOS, which is 100% possible, even if you're not looking to get pregnant right away or ever. A healthy period is essential for your health. It's going to help you with a lot of different things as far as your overall well-being, including reducing your risk for cardiovascular disease, improving bone health, as well as mental health. So studies show that a healthy period is good for your overall health in general, and it doesn't have to only do with your fertility and family planning. Not to mention, if you do want to get pregnant in the future, working on regulating your cycle right now is the best thing that you can do. You do not want to wait until you're ready to get pregnant, because it can take months and sometimes longer than that to regulate your cycle fully. And so if you are thinking about getting pregnant in the future, you want to optimize your menstrual cycle now. Make sure you're getting a good healthy period every single month so that later on you can conceive whenever you're ready to do so. Okay, so let's dive into the 5 criteria that make up a healthy period. The first thing is your cycle length. And when I say cycle length, what I'm referring to is the time that goes by between the first day of your period to the next first day of the next period, okay? We want to see 21 to 35 days. That is the healthy range for your menstrual cycle. So if you're getting your period every 22, 30, 35 days, or 28 days, any of the numbers in between 21 to 35 days are what makes a healthy menstrual cycle. Now, if you're not sure how many days go by between your periods, you may want to write it down. So of course you can use your regular paper calendar, or you can do it in your phone. But one of the best things that you can do is use an app. There are many different apps that can help you track your cycle, and that will calculate the number of days that go by between periods automatically. 2 of the apps that I usually recommend are Clue and Kindara, but there are many others that do exactly the same thing. Now, the cycle length can vary each month. So we're looking at an average of 21 to 35 days. Somewhere in between there is normal, or another way that you can look at it is you want to have at least 10 periods per year. If you have less than 10 periods per year, your cycle length is likely too long, and that is not normal. The second thing we're going to look for is your period length. That's the actual time of bleeding throughout the month. And so if you have anywhere between 2 to 7 days of bleeding on average, that is considered normal. Now, it's not going to be the same every month, but again, between 2 to 7 days of actual bleeding is considered normal. Now, the length of your period is one thing to consider, but another important thing to consider is the color, flow, and type of bleeding that you have, which is our 3rd criteria. What we want to see is bright red blood. We want to see moderate flow, not too heavy, and we definitely want to see blood that's not clotted. So we don't want to see big chunks or clots throughout your period, and we want to make sure that the color is not too light or too dark, as well as the flow not too light and not too heavy. And let me give you some idea on what counts as heavy flow. So generally speaking, when a woman loses more than 80 milliliters throughout the days, all the days of her period, that's considered heavy flow. That's usually equivalent to changing your pad or tampon more than 4 or 5 times in a day throughout the whole days of your cycle. So if the flow is heavy, it remains heavy, it doesn't taper off, that may mean that the flow is too heavy and you're losing too much blood. The next criteria is pain. Your period should not be painful to the point that it's completely debilitating and you cannot go to work, you have to lay in bed and not do your daily activities as you're used to doing. So it should be maybe uncomfortable in the first day or so, but your period should not require you to use painkillers or daily medications in order to get through it. And similarly, our 5th criteria is related to PMS. These are the symptoms that you're experiencing 7 to 10 days before your period. PMS should be mild. So it's normal to experience breast tenderness, tenderness, some bloating, fatigue, mood swings, but it is not normal to be, again, completely debilitated and out of commission during your premenstrual week or so. So again, this is something to note and pay attention to. If you have severe cramps, if you have severe migraines, these are not normal symptoms. Again, they're common and you may have had them for years, but that doesn't mean that they're normal. They do require your attention. And the good news is that everything that we had talked about today, including PMS, pain, the length of your cycle, the length of your period, is very responsive to nutrition and lifestyle changes. And so you can achieve a healthy, consistent, regular period every single month with lifestyle changes. And this is exactly what I teach you inside the Period Return Plan. This is a 3-month program where I show you how to get a healthy period in 90 days or less without relying on birth control, on medications, or having to struggle through these period abnormalities. Okay, so let's recap the 5 criteria for a healthy period. Number 1, the length of your cycle should be between 21 and 35 days. Number 2, the length of your period should be between 2 to 7 days of actual bleeding. Number 3, the color, type, and flow of your period should be normal. So we want bright red periods, we want them without clots, and we want to make sure that the flow is not too heavy and it tapers off over the days of your period. Number 4 is pain. Your periods should not be painful. And then number 5, PMS. It should be mild and manageable, not debilitating. So here's what I want you to do next. If your period is abnormal or you're not meeting the criteria for a healthy period in any of the ways that we had discussed today, the first thing I want you to do is subscribe to this channel, because we are going to be talking about period health for the next few weeks, and I have lots of great tips, tricks, and strategies that you can implement right away. The second thing I want you to do is go ahead and join the waitlist for my program, the Period Return Plan. In that program, I show you my step-by-step method to ovulating and getting a regular period every single month in 90 days or less. I have the waitlist open right now, and I want you to join it so that you can get notified when doors open and see if it's a good fit for you. So you can click the link in the description below or go to daphnachazen.com/waitlist. And last but not least, I want you to go ahead into the comments section and let me know what is the number one thing that you're struggling with when it comes to menstrual health. What is your biggest period problem right now with PCOS? You can leave it below in the comments or go on over to Instagram and DM me the answer so we can chat about it and I can help you resolve it. All right? I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I cannot wait to see you again soon. Bye for now.